Take a while to show up. Good evening and welcome to the beautiful I Am Book Talk with Mr. Stan Johnson. My name is Kimi Johnson. I am the owner and publisher at PurposePals Publishing, and it is such an honor to have you all here with us this evening, whether you are watching us live or catching the replay. We invite you to get comfortable in the chat. We want to hear from you. We are communicating, but we want you to be a part of this conversation. So please don't be shy with putting your comments and your questions in the chat. We have our amazing show engineer, Mr. Emmanuel. We can't see him, but everybody give Mr. Emmanuel a hand. He is the owner of Photos by Enigma Set. And so he is making sure that this live goes well tonight. And so he's also manning the chat box. So we will be responsive. So we're gathered here tonight to have a conversation about the impact of confidence and beauty in the Black community among Black women, right? And so we're going to dig into the brainchild of this project, Mr. Stan Johnson, and talk about his why it was important for him to do this project. But then we also have some featured guests in our audience that's going to join the conversation and also share their experience with being a part of this project. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce Mr. Stan Johnson, photographer, award-winning photographer, may I add. Author, professor, the list goes on and on. So great to have you tonight. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Awesome.
Happy for the event and thankful for all of our guests that came in. They're all participants in this project, and I'm looking forward to the book finally coming out so everybody can see what we all created together.
Awesome. Well, Stan, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you felt it was important to put out this amazing project.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a small town of Quincy, Florida, which is about 20 miles west of Tallahassee. Quincy is in Gadsden County, which is the only predominantly Black county in the state of Florida. And so my childhood was, it was a little different probably than a lot of other people's experience. It was a very nurturing community as I was growing up. And so it was nice, but there was a lot of things happen, racially. So that impacted me as well. And some of the things that I've seen as I've grown up have helped me to develop into the artist that I am. I use photography as my vehicle for doing my artwork. I'm a fine arts photographer. And so a lot of my life experiences have led me to do some of the projects that I do. Mm-hmm. And so Beautiful I Am is a project that kind of grew out of some of that background. I don't know if people knew of or remember that back in the 1940s, there was an event that happened. Kenneth and Mamie Clark did a project where it was called the Doll Study. And so the Doll Study, they had these dolls, Black dolls, white dolls, and they had kids to come up and look at the dolls and basically say how they felt about the doll. Which doll was the most intelligent? Which doll was the most beautiful? Which one was the good doll? Which one's the bad doll? And so that study showed that our Black children were influenced by society in a negative way, and their self-esteem was low. They redid the study in the early 90s, and they even included Hispanic kids in this study. Well, when they redid it, of course, everyone was expecting different results because it was 50 years later, and they found out that the results were about the same. By living in this society, our people tend to not see themselves in a wonderful light, and so that's been disturbing to me ever since I learned about the study. And so, about a year ago, um, I was trying to figure out what kind of project I wanted to do, another creative project, and so I was kind of in a quandary because everything I was trying to think of was kind of commercial. It just didn't fit. And so I was sitting one day kind of praying about it, and the idea came, the thoughts went back onto the study. And then I was like, okay, well, what can I do? Because I feel like our people are still going through that. Some of the things that our young people do um, kind of show that uh, we still have negative effects by the society. And I want to do something positive that's going to help and combat that. And so even it's a small thing that I'm doing, but small things can have big impacts.
That's right.
And I'm hoping that this project does just that. Um, so the thought came, it's like, why not just go out, find regular people that I see every day and ask them to come into my studio and I take portraits of them and take those portraits. I'll do this from 0 to 99.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so what the thought was to have 10 people in each decade, starting with the smallest kids, because what I wanted to show is the beauty of our people through the decades, starting from small kids. So the smallest child that I have in the project is 1 year old. And we go all the way through the decades. And the oldest person that is in the project is 94 years old. And I wasn't able to totally complete the project the way that I wanted to. I wanted 10 people in each decade. Um, but it was a difficult task to one, schedule everybody for this project because it takes a lot to be able to say, hey, come in for about 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to photograph you. And we also had a small interview process incorporated in it. And so people have to give up their time and come in, and then we have to adjust schedules and all of that. Needless to say, I completed the project with about 85 people.
Okay.
Didn't quite get the 100 that I was looking for, but I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things that I realized that as we got further in age, higher in age, it was more difficult to find people the elderly to photograph. So I only have I think I have um, four ladies in their 90s. And I think I have about 7 in their 80s. But like I said, it came close. I'm happy with the results. I'm happy with everyone that participated. I'm thankful for them, um, for their time, and for them to allow me to capture their beauty. And they are all beautiful. I want people to realize from this project, especially during this time, we're in some crazy times. And there's been a lot of negativity thrown our way for years, and it's about to get worse. But if we unify, if we stay together, um, and we realize who we are, and we realize, for me, I'm working on our beauty, self-esteem. I want our ladies to know that they are beautiful. Um, the rest of society tries to um, put our ladies down. They don't showcase the beauty. You look at the commercial part of our country, ads and all of that. Um, they don't they don't portray our ladies the way that they should. Um, of certain industries try to make uh, our women look the worst that they can instead of showcasing their beauty. And that's my opinion. Uh, some other people may not have that opinion, but it's mine. And so that opinion has allowed me to do this project. Uh, I want every Black woman to be able to open up my book, look through that book, find someone that they can connect with, and they can see themselves in that person and see the beauty in that person and also see the beauty in themselves. No matter what anyone else says, um, you're beautiful. And so that's pretty much the reason for the book. Um, again, I'm happy with the results. Uh, and I'm doing the final steps before it goes to the printer this week. Um, and I think it's excelled my own expectations. So um, I'm looking forward to the final printing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so this book is a part of another project that's coming up in January.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Okay. So in January, I've been granted the opportunity to have a solo exhibition at the Foster Tanner Fine Arts Building here at FAMU's campus in Tallahassee, Florida. Um, as I was told, this is the first time that they've highlighted an all photography show, which is a big deal because photography is my thing. I love fine arts, I love painting, all of that, but my specialty is photography. And the fact that I'm allowed to have a solo show is a big deal. For that show, I'm going to be able to have two projects. This project, which is Beautiful I Am, and the other project is called Naked Emotions Exposed. I see both projects as mental health projects. Um, Beautiful I Am is a project that is dealing with self-esteem, whereas Naked Emotions Exposed is dealing with all the emotions that we have and the expressions that our people have. And a lot of times, Black people tend to hide those emotions, kind of keep them on the back burner. Uh, we really don't want anyone to see us as being weak. So that project was to showcase all of the full range of emotions that we go through that most other people don't think we have. They want to see us one way. Um, and they don't want to see us as the full humans that we are. And I'll go into that part later on. But we are, one of the things I want to say about how I feel about our people, I feel that all we need is opportunities. We excel at everything that we do. Just given the opportunity, we are the best at almost everything. And And I feel that that's the thing that intimidates other people about us. It's they may want to bring up other things or try to say there are other things that they're concerned or worried about, or they won't even state why they treat us the way that they do. But I know that given the opportunity to get a job, we will excel. Given a chance to play a sport, we'll excel. Entertain, no one does it better. Um, Write, create books. We do it well, and we excel because um, that's a part of who we are. And so, like I said, I won't go. I can go deeper, but I'm not because I want to keep this short. But that's how I think, and that's what allows me to create the things that I do. Um, and I hope that uh, God will bless me with the opportunity to continue to create more projects that will impact our people, uplift our people, because that's the only thing, way that I see it. I'm a positive person. If you bring in negativity my way, you can keep it going. Um, I'm all about the positive, and I believe that we can continue. If we unify, we can be stronger together, and we can really project our greatness. Oh, so I said all of that to say my exhibition is going to be January 16th from 5 to 7 p.m. Again at the Foster Tanner Fine Arts Building on Florida A&M University's campus. Um, I hope you all will, everyone will come out and uh, enjoy the show. So,
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stan Johnson. And so now we are going to have a special guest, Cynthia. She is not here in the studio with us in person, but she is here in the studio online. And so if you just give us a minute to bring her on, we're going to have a conversation with her in regards to Black excellence, beauty, and confidence. Awesome. So it looks like Cynthia is here. Cynthia, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, can. You hear me?
Yes, I can. So, Cynthia, we're going to kick this off with the question about confidence and representation. Okay. So, seeing other women of color represented in a book like Beautiful I Am can be very powerful. How has seeing diverse images and stories of beauty impacted your own confidence or the way you see yourself?
First of all, I want to say thank you for bringing me on. Thank you, Stan, for creating this beautiful work of art in your book, Beautiful I Am. Seeing other women of color in such a book has really um, solidified my belief in our beauty. And I didn't always consider myself pretty or beautiful when I was younger. Unfortunately, society would have us conform to what the majority normal, what the majority population considers normal, look to be, and I didn't fit that. And I really didn't fit anybody's mold. I wasn't enough of any one grade. So I'm just like over the moon in seeing this book because it really exemplifies all the shades and beautiful hues throughout the ages. And I feel so honored to be a part of this publication. It took me a long time to accept my version of beauty. And I wish this book had been published decades earlier. It would save me a lot of time. To hear from other women throughout different decades. And I think this is a book that could be required, should be required um, from the early age. And I know that there are books out there on the beauty of the human race, of women of color, of people of color. But I have yet to see, this is the first time I've seen one like this, that encompasses every age through almost 100 years old. It's really special. And the more women who can see their beauty exemplified, the better.
Absolutely. And you had an opportunity to be a part of this amazing project, as you just mentioned. What was your experience like with, being behind the camera and just expressing your form of beauty?
It was very enjoyable. Stan is very easy to talk to. I felt very comfortable during the process. I'm used to being behind a camera as well. I'm used to interview people. I'm usually not in front of, I'm not the one being interviewed. But I felt very comfortable interviewing for the book. And I was very happy to be able to share my experiences on what my perceptions of beauty were, my definition of beauty, how that impacted my life, and how that changed as I grew older and more confident.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for taking out the time to join us this evening and celebrate Black excellence, Black beauty, Black confidence. And we know that you will continue to let your light shine. And so we just are so grateful for you to join us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you at the exhibition.
Thank you again. I look forward to it. Congratulations, Stan, on this book. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Anyone who looks at this book will find themselves in it. So thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So again, we are here talking about the book, Beautiful I Am, Portraits and Voices, and we're celebrating beauty, growth, and self-esteem across generations.
All right, so we got a few comments. We got Anita Maria Whitby Davis.
Yes, my girl Anita.
She
Yes.
said, excellent, Kimi Johnson. We also have Michelle Joy Smith. She said, excellent work. Edith A. Corbett. She said, yay, Stan.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you, Edith.
And she also said, Cynthia Rose, exclamation marks. And then Michelle Joy Smith came back with, you are beautiful, Cynthia. So
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for those comments. Keep them going. We want you to be a part of this conversation as we're celebrating beauty tonight. All right. So as we are transitioning to bring up some of our featured guests, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Cameron and Tanivia. Let's give them a hand as they join us. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening. We know you could be doing anything with your time, but you chose to be here with us, and so we do not take that lightly. And so we're going to go ahead and jump right in, and we're going to talk about the book and how it celebrates beauty in all forms. And so how would you personally define beauty, and how does that definition change you as you've grown?
I want to begin my answer with answering the latter half of this question first, in terms of how has beauty developed in definition in my life. I want to first say that I'm only 19 and I have so much more life to live. But even in the experiences that I do have, and like my, K through 12 educational experience, a lot of the youth believes that beauty is determined by lustful eyes, and beauty is determined by, trying to fit into this body that has been predetermined for us by these, these influencers who will never know that we exist and everything like that. And for a long time I tried.
Yeah.
For a long time I tried with like the tight clothes and the everything that wasn't me. So to kind of jump a little bit, now I've been in college for a couple of years, and I definitely still struggle with my own personal definition of beauty and believing that I am beautiful. But in the life that I've lived, I can say that I've honed in on two arrangements of beauty, if I may say. I would say that beauty is confidence,
Yes.
and beauty is kindness.
Yes.
I think that the experience that other people have while interacting with you, it means so much in terms of defining or understanding your own beauty. Like, do you make people laugh? Do people smile? Do people enjoy being around you? I think that's so important. And I think that that's really critical for a high quality of life, if that makes sense. You can have all the surgery and all the long hair, blah, 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 but it's like, are you happy with yourself? And are other people happy around you? And then that's a perfect segue into the second half of my answer in terms of confidence being beauty. You can be in all the clothes, all the expensive hair, and da, 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 but at a certain point, you have to be happy with yourself. I believe that beauty is something that radiates from within you. Because I've had this body for a long time. I've had this body for a long time, and I would say that I'm just now starting to be beautiful because I'm just not starting to feel beautiful.
That's good.
You know, I think that it's so important to remove the value of external validation because beauty externally is a trend. It's always going to change, whether it's thinner or thicker or whatever. It's at what point are you happy with you?
With you.
So my answer.
Awesome.
Hi. So I guess what I would say that beauty has been to me is, well, my definition would be that beauty is the relationship that you have with yourself and the environment that you are in. So like, you can't treat an environment good if you don't treat yourself good. That is how I feel about it. And I believe that we're all connected. So regardless of if you are on a high or on a medium or on a low with people, you the best person to be is the person that is in love with yourself. So how my definition changed as I got older is because I actually didn't have a great relationship with a lot of mother and maternal figures or even just female figures in my family. Awesome people, swear, and I love them dearly. But they taught me to be proud of being Black, but they did not teach me to be proud of myself, my beauty, and how I feel. So a lot of things that I loved went overlooked, not encouraged, just the what haves and what have yous. So I've had to like grow, and it's because I've had to fail and then get myself back together. And it took loving myself through those failures because I was taught to be up here, and people don't come for you, especially like Black women. We do it to each other so fast, and everybody has relationships. Well, I'm just gonna speak for my relationships were that, the men get coddled, in my humble opinion. They might say that I'm crazy, but it was not that. I have literally had to pick myself up from a lot of things. And so going back to what I said about interacting with your environment, none of us are the same. So to give you an example, because I feel like so connected with my environment, I cannot kill stuff. Like it's very, very hard for me to kill stuff. Like lizards. I mean, bugs gotta go, but living beings, I might kill myself. Try not to kill them. So I called my best friend last weekend because there was a lizard in my house, and she was like, "Girl, that thing would have been up under my shoe. Like, why did you worry?" So y'all, I turned that thing into a little hockey puck because I did not want to kill it. So then it happened again for whatever reason. Lizards like my house. And I called my best friend. My best friend was like, "Well, you just must not like killing stuff because it would be gone, little white, and it's out of here." Our responses are different, but it doesn't stop them from being beautiful. Her beauty is being fearless. Me, I care a lot. I am like a tough guy. I care so hard that I don't want to kill things. I don't want anything or anyone, even inanimate, to feel hurt by me. So I feel like that's how I've had to grow to be happy and comfortable with myself, was treating myself. How I treat myself is probably how I'm going to treat others. And that's what helped me change. And that's how that changed. My definition changed.
Wow. Yes, yes, round of applause. So what I'm hearing from both of you all is authenticity, and really beauty is an experience that you bring, right? And so that may look different from person to person, but it does not change the beauty that you bring to the table. And I also heard you all talk about this moment of evolution, right? You know, there's different phases, and you just get beautiful, more beautiful with time as you begin to learn yourself and appreciate yourself and own your differences and even your values and your flaws, knowing that all of those things make you beautiful, right? And so I thank you all for being a part of this conversation tonight and being a part of this amazing book, Beautiful I Am. I'm sure Stan shares my sentiments, and so we are excited about January, and we hope to see you all there, right? Awesome. Let's give them a round of applause. And so our next group we have is Wandiza, and she is going to be coming up to have this conversation about cultural and generational influences. Welcome. How are you?
Okay.
Awesome. I'm good. I'm going to give you the mic so you can share a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump into the question. Is that all right with you?
That's
Awesome.
Well, of course, my name is Wandiza. I'm a mother of 5. One of my daughters is present now. She was a part of the book as well. I'm currently in school for business management, graduating this month.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, what was it like for you being a part of this project?
It was awesome. It was awesome. My niece is actually a person that suggested that I be a part of the project. Never been photographed before in such a dimension that Stan did before. So just being there, listening, doing what he said, he was so helpful. So it was like almost like being coddled.
I love it. Awesome. Yes, I can attest to that as well. My daughter and I are a part of the project, and when I tell you seeing my daughter light up, I mean Stan just has a knack for what he does. He truly is anointed and gifted to do what he does. And so, leading into our question, this project highlights women of color across multiple generations. Stan mentioned from birth or 1 years old all the way to 94. That's a lot of decades. And so, can you share how your mother, your grandmother, or other maternal figures in your life has influenced your sense of beauty and self-esteem?
Okay, so let's start. I was born in the 70s. When I was born, of course, I was with my mom for a few months, then my big mother. That's who I call my grandmother, but I call her Big Mom. She came with me and she got me. So grow up with her in Birmingham, Alabama. I was there with her for 4 years, first 4 years of my life, to see how it was in the South. It wasn't it wasn't something that was hounded on as far as beauty. So my idea of beauty then, being young and, just growing up from a babe up until the age I was, just to look at my big mind, how I looked at her, to me that she was just a beautiful woman.
Yes.
I didn't see a color or anything. It was just, that's my big mom. She beautiful. I watched her work. I watched her cook. I watched her clean. I watched her tend to. It was just a beautiful thing. And then when I got back up north, of course, school came into play.
Yeah.
You had the school, and then all the different ages. I had my siblings, my cousins, and then parents, they tend to, with my mom, they tend to validate.
Yeah.
But then sometimes actions behind the validation makes you feel a certain way. So in my growing up with the grandmother, mother aspect, it was kind of like you're beautiful but not prettier than her.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
I got it.
And that's kind of what I grew up in reference to my siblings. So as I took on the role of, well, I'll be smart. So I was the smart sibling. So I was like, okay, I ain't worried about being beautiful. I'll just be smart. And that's what I was. So, and then as I got older and, having my own children, it was like validate. I don't care what nobody say to you, what they think, you are beautiful, regardless of what no one says.
I love that. I love that a lot. And truly, that's what Beautiful I Am is. It's a book of validation, right? I think about the pages of the book, and of course, I've seen previews because I'm the publisher. So, but I think about what I've saw in this book, and I'm just so excited to have this conversation with my daughter, and just pouring into her, and like you said, validating, and because the world can be a cruel place. Um, and we're not going to be there with them all the time to be able to validate them, but we can plant those seeds of encouragement, letting them know that not only are you smart, but you are beautiful, and not only are you enough, but you are more than enough, right? Yes. And so I appreciate you for being a part of this project. I can't wait to see you on January 16th, okay, with the exposition. And so, do you have anything else you would like to share?
No, it's just I want to thank Stan for allowing me to be a part of the project. I can't wait to see you all. We all sisters. We're all beautiful.
Yes.
And thank you.
Awesome. Let's give her a round of applause.
You're welcome.
And we are going to segue into our next group, or next discussion, I should say, with Miss Felicia. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes up. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, 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 my dear sister. How are you?
I'm good.
I am good. This is Chef B, the phenomenal experience here. This is my sister, so I have to love on her. Well, everyone is my sister, but you know what I'm saying, right? Gotta love on her. No more than I'm loving on you all, I promise. And so we're going to talk about confidence and representation, okay? So seeing other women of color represented in a book like Beautiful I Am, that can be very powerful. How has seeing diverse images and stories of beauty impacted your own confidence or the way you see yourself?
Well, good evening. One of the things I want to highlight and talk about, and it's a very ugly, but it's the real truth, is that external factors really do impact how you feel about yourself, internally. And so I remember going to the library one day at a very young age in school and picking up this book. It was written by Ezra Jack Keats, and it was called Snowy Day. And I got so excited about that book. And it was because there was a character in that book that looked like me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was really, really excited to see that. And you know, that wasn't as common. Even, you know, the Barbie dolls and things like that that were in stores, they were the dolls with straight hair. And, you know, they all had the same kind of look and things like that. So that study thing is truth. It's really how, you know, we perceive beauty growing up. I did not, unfortunately, feel beautiful until I got to college. In high school, in middle school, even in elementary school, I was like everybody's sister, right? And so like the boys, hey sis, you know, da da da, like they never saw me in that light. But I saw the women that they saw in that light, right? And so those external factors had an impact of how I thought beauty was. And so I didn't start feeling beautiful until I got into college. And I hate to say it, but it's around the time I had my real first boyfriend.
Yeah.
You know, I had somebody who saw me, gave me attention, you know, told me I was beautiful, you know what I mean? And so that made me feel beautiful. It wasn't until later on that I learned how to intrinsically, you know, feel beautiful about myself. But just that external factor of somebody paying me attention and, you know, really loving who I am, was very, very impactful for me. I later on learned my own lessons, but you know, that's just one step. That's one thing. So, you know, just for our Black men, you know, tell these women that they're beautiful. It really does make a difference. And you know, you don't think it doesn't, but it really, really does. And so a lot of the things that we're seeing becomes our perceptions. And so we just have to make sure that we're holding all parties accountable. So our men and our women. Just yeah. So to be a part of this project though was really trippy because here's another black man thinking that I ain't beautiful enough to be in this project.
Yes.
You know, what an amazing experience that is. You know what I mean? And so I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the photo shoot with Stan. My bonus baby is in that book as well. So we're really excited about it. I'm so proud of you, Stan. I know I told you that, before, but I really am. And yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. But yeah, we all have a part in helping people find their beauty and really exploring that. So
Beautiful to me, baby.
don't worry, I have no question about it. But yeah.
And that is Pete's husband on the ones and twos, as they call it, making sure this podcast is successful. He's in the background, but he is here. So we appreciate all that you are doing to make sure this is a success. So thank you, Fee, for joining this conversation. You could have been anywhere. You could have been cooking up some wonderful meals, but you decided to be here with us tonight. And so we do not take that lightly. So thank you so much. Let's give her a round of applause. And so again, for those of you who are listening in, we invite you to share this live. Share, invite, tag. We want to get the word out about Beautiful I Am as we celebrate beauty, growth, and self-esteem across generations. And so we're going to continue on with this conversation with our next question or discussion with Nikki and Danelle. Give them a round of applause. Welcome, ladies. So happy to have you all here. And so we're going to be talking about challenging stereotypes, and all of us have dealt with them a time or two in our life. It's an ugly truth that we have to face, right? And so I'm going to ask the question, and then whichever one wants to go first, we can just pass the mic. Not drop the mic, unless it's just that good. We're going to pass the mic. All right, so women of color often face narrow definitions of beauty in mainstream media. What do you think needs to change in order for more inclusive, authentic representations of Black beauty to come from the norm?
I guess for me, I feel like people need to realize that there's not just one way to be beautiful. You're not stereotypical. For example, today I'm bald. Tomorrow I might have long hair. Tomorrow I might have blonde hair. You never know what you're gonna get. But it's all different. And it's kind of like growing up, I developed early. So it was a certain way I was perceived to be cuter because I had big boobs and I was tiny. Like I was literally a size 3. Until I had my first child and I gained weight. But because all the women in my family have always been plus size. So it's like, and I was always the smallest one, but they've always encouraged me to, you're beautiful just how you always are. And I'm like, I've always been me. Now, my mama doesn't like it because I'm not girly. I'm a tomboy. That's just how I am. But I know for me, like people come up to me and they'll be like, oh, your head is so beautiful or whatever. Or they'll be like, even guys I tried to date, they're like, it's just something about your confidence. I was like, because I'm me and I know that I look good and I've always been told that. I mean, I have bad wings. I'm okay with that. That's who I am. I celebrate me for me. I don't live for everyone else. And I don't want the big old BBL because that's just not it. You have to realize whatever shape you are, whatever size you are, how your hair is and everything. And I've been blessed with a beautiful grand princess. And my thing is with her, because I had boys. And I know that as a Black woman, we face so much of people telling you, you're not small enough, you don't have this hourglass figure, you don't have boobs. Because my mom has no chest. I got a chest. You don't Your stomach's not flat, you're not this, you're not that. And so I have to try to instill in her that, okay, yeah, that's how Barbie looks, but that's not how you are. You are beautiful just the way you are. You're beautiful and you're smart. You are the best princess in the whole wide world. And everybody has to honor you because you are you. My sons have girlfriends. They have totally different ideas of you. One thinks that you have to be this slender, beautiful Barbie lookalike. The other one is like, he likes women that are real size women who she may have a good whatever. It doesn't matter. He's going for the personality because that he understands that that is what makes you beautiful. Your personality, what you perceive yourself, and how you see yourself. And that's what I wish the media would portray more. Even I see some of it starting to change, but it's not really a lot because people are still trying to portray that you have to be a certain way, and you don't. You just have to be authentically you. Or at least that's my opinion anyway.
I agree.
Hello, everyone. I'm Danelle Barnton, and I work in the arts with Stan. I'm the gallery assistant at the Anderson Brickler Gallery, and I'm a doctoral student in art history at Florida State. So when we talk about beauty and pressure, it is real in the arts, right? I think it's even at a heightened level because historically, at least on museum walls and gallery walls, we weren't there. Took a long time, and sometimes we had different motivations and goals. It was about representation and being at the table, and not necessarily just about beauty, right? It was about injustice, civil rights, education, and so I think now things are getting better, but we're still at a disadvantage. So when we take our children to museums and galleries, what do they see? Do they see themselves there? Do they know if the artist is Black? Is the figure of the child or the Black woman, is she portrayed in an overly sexualized manner? Or is she shown with class and elegance? And I think Stan is bringing that out in this book and also in another show, and I'm looking forward to that.
You make such great points. And I agree, we have come a long way, but we have a ways to go. And it's up to us as a community to have a impact in that change and that evolution. Sometimes we may have to say no to opportunities that don't necessarily represent our values, our morals, thinking that other people are watching and we want to make sure we represent ourselves well. And so keeping that in mind, and with your experience and opportunity of being a part of this project, what was that like for you all? Was there any, because this is not just a book of photos, there are also some reflections, and so there was points where you had to be inward and really think about what beauty means and what being a part of this project is like. So what was that experience like for you?
I guess for me, the experience, because at the time I was getting ready to come out of the classroom, because I do have multiple sclerosis, so that affects me as well. And for me, I had to really sit and I had to internalize because with the questions he asked, and then I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm in the classroom, so I have these kids, and some of these kids, they don't have anybody to tell them they're beautiful or whatever. You may have a child who has a disability or something. And this project is something that everybody can see themselves in, regardless of what. And they can see that it's okay to be different. It's okay because I'm beautiful in my own special way. And so that's the great thing about you in this project, because I got to do both of them. It's like, and with this one, he was like, just come and be yourself. And because I like to be extra because it's there. And I was just like, if I could find a sparkly tutu, I would. But it's like, okay, I'm going to be me. And that's what it is. But I love this book because everybody can see something of themselves and see a representation of all the different people and everything.
That's good. Well, for me, as the subject of the photo, it made me think of the Black model in art on canvas, and how so many times we don't even know their names. They were anonymous figures, or they were working in the painting, and so they weren't highlighted. So I felt it was a good feeling. Like we are the important central focus of the work,
Yes.
of the book, not just on the periphery.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you all so much for sharing. Let's give them a round of applause. We cannot wait to see you January 16th. You'll be there, right?
Yes,
For sure. All right. So again, if you have not shared this video, we invite you to share. This conversation is amazing to be a part of, and it doesn't just stop in this room. So we invite you to carry this conversation on. Christmas is coming up. Let this be a part of the dinner table, the awesome meals that we're going to be partaking in. And so we're going to go ahead and bring up our last discussion for tonight, our last group of women. We have Rakaya, Sheila, Rihanna, and Nicole. Let's give them a round of applause as they come on. We'll see if you all can fit. If not, I can stand. Oh,
It's okay.
oopsie on the set. It happens. All right, so while Stan is getting the Beautiful I Am book set back up, because we want you all to be able to see that, right? All right, so we are going to start the conversation about inspiring the next generation. And this is, all of the questions were very impactful. This is really, really, really impactful because we are tapping into the future here, right? We're giving words of encouragement of what we want those that are coming behind us to glean from. And so the question is, if you could pass on one piece of advice or wisdom about beauty and self-worth to the next generation of young Black girls, what would it be and why? Okay, what would it be and why?
My advice would be to just know that you are beautiful. I think someone touched on it earlier. About social media. A lot of times I think the younger generation, they look at social media and think that they're supposed to look this way, and they're supposed to be really small, and, you know, your hair is supposed to be a certain way. I can say for myself, I just stepped over into my third chapter and I was small and I started gaining weight. So I kind of had to check myself because I was like, oh my gosh, like, where's the food coming from? Like, I'm supposed to look like this at this age.
Yeah.
And I just kind of had to check myself and be like, no, like, you're good. You're beautiful. Yes, the way you are. And also when it came to like my hair, I work in schools. So when I go into schools, sometimes I would want to wear my hair out because I have really big hair. And I would find myself like, because when you go to school, you know, they're gonna look at you crazy, like, what is she doing all the hair? Because they don't, you know. So I had to learn to embrace that. And like, you know, I'm gonna wear my hair and I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna look natural and I'm gonna, you know, just be myself.
That's right.
Hi, I'm Sheila. Thank you, Stan, for inviting me on the panel and inviting me to be a part of your awesome book. It's funny that this question resonated with me because I'm an educator. And one thing I think about is to impart knowledge on those young girls in my care. Then I thought, as far as imparting knowledge, I'm giving them some wisdom as well, because they say with age comes wisdom. For those girls, I always want to tell them, beauty is not defined as somebody else's purpose of who you are and what you need to be. It's defined by your self-worth. How do you feel about yourself? And each day I look at all the girls in my classrooms throughout, maybe it's elementary school or even college. I look at their smiles. I look at their way they wear their hair. I look at their overall appearance of just who they are. If they giggle, that's beauty to me. If they smile, that's beauty to me. If they're even angry, I said everybody gets a chance to be angry. You still look beautiful no matter what. And so when I look at each of those students, I always think it's a wonder they'll grow up to be beautiful women with knowledge because that's who they are. They bring that to the table and they bring that first. That's all I see, their beauty and who they are. It's multifaceted. It's not defined by their hair, their eyes, their clothes, their lips. It's all parts of that young girl or that young female that I teach. So that's what beauty is to me, and that's what I think should be imparted upon each woman that exists.
Awesome. Okay, hi. So I'm still in high school, and being in high school, you're surrounded by a whole bunch of stereotypical things, and like some girls, well, now these days, you have to wear a wig for you to be pretty. You have to wear lashes for you to be pretty. Like if you wear your natural hair, they kind of look at you weird or stuff like that. But I wear my natural hair, and I don't really dress up to go to school because I'm not going there to impress anybody. But like you can overhear people at school talking about like, oh, she dresses that way, or oh, she's that size. Like I had, and when I was in high school, I did have one of those points where I was like, I don't even feel comfortable in my own skin. I had to get comfortable, like that does not matter. I had to sit there and stare at myself. I had to hear from my mom. I had to hear from my grandma. I had to hear from my sister. I had to hear it and from them and for them to tell me like, hey, you're beautiful. Like it does not matter. Like you don't need no one to tell you that. Like it does not matter what other people think. And I had to instill that in myself because if you can't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. So it's very important. I feel like the next generation should know that like be comfortable in your own skin because you only get this body once.
Right. That's right. That's good.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I want to say a little bit about my background. I'm a dental assistant and I'm a makeup artist. So what I'm about to say is just going to kind of tie into that. When I do makeup for anybody, no matter what age they are, weddings, whatever the occasion, and they say, "Oh my God, it looks so beautiful," I say, "You was beautiful before you sat in my chair." I always say that. When someone comes in and sees me at the dentist's office and they want a different smile or they want to be, have good oral health, I always encourage them, "You're beautiful. We're going to get through this and we're going to get through this together." So I would say to the next generation for you to know that beauty is more than aesthetics. It's for me more than dentistry. It's more than makeup artistry. It's more than aesthetics. It's who you are on the inside and how you treat people. And people will always remember that. Being yourself is easy. It's just too hard to be somebody else. It's too hard to be somebody else. So I always would tell people, be your beautiful, natural self.
That's good. Awesome. And so we hear the ringing factor in the room, which is authenticity, really just owning who you are and loving that person, flaws and all, and truly believing that you are more than enough. And so as we wrap up, I do want to give you all an opportunity to share what it was like for you being behind the camera and being a part of this project, Beautiful I Am.
So for me, it was really fun. I'm a photographer, so I'm usually behind the camera. So when he asked me to be in front of the camera, I was like, oh, okay. So when I actually got in front of the camera, I saw how, when I'm telling someone to pose, I'm like, should we do that? But when I got in front of the camera, I'm like, I understand why some of my clients are looking at me crazy when I'm trying to tell them to pose. So he made it so easy, and it was so fun, and I really enjoyed the experience.
Well, for me, being a part of Stan's book, that was an honor. And as he knows, I'm trying to be an aspiring photographer as well. So it's a matter of getting out of my comfort zone for one, and thinking that oh, this is gonna go out to the masses. I was a bit nervous, but then when Stan got me in the studio, it was just like, okay, it's natural. He said, you're fine, you're fine. He gave me that reassurance before he even thought about how I looked. It was just like in your comfort zone, you're here with a friend, just taking pictures. I never knew. But out to the masses, I really enjoyed myself.
In the store. So you go to the website and then you click on store and you will be able to pre-order your copy of Beautiful I Am. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and have an amazing night. Awesome.